And welcome to Boxing Talk live, man. We live. I want to talk about a few things, man. Recently Bomac has come out in a conference call with Terrence Crawford is about to fight Jose Benavidez, and Bomac was in a conference call saying that Terrence Crawford wants Errol Spence next. He wants him immediately after Bonavia. Now, now that sounds good to me. That should sound good to a lot of other, fighting fans and boxing fans that we can possibly get the fight, sooner than later. Now, I know it's those out there that want the fight to quote unquote build up. I don't understand that. Look, yes, these fighters want to make as much money as they can with the fight, and yes, they probably deserve and yes, they deserve it because they go in there and put their bodies on the line, put their lives on the line. But me as a supporter, I want to pay as less as I can for the fight. Now, me personally, even though I like Terrence Crawford and I think Terrence Crawford is the pound for pound best fighter in the world, I don't necessarily think this is a pay per view fight, in my opinion. Simply because Terrence Crawford, yes, he was unified. I mean, he was unified at 135. He won a belt at 130, undisputed at 140, and he won a title at 147. He's right now holding the WBO title, and Errol Spence is holding the IBF title. He had a couple of defenses versus Ocampos and Peterson, but in order for this, in my opinion, to be a pay per view fight, both of these guys had to at least have all the belts had to be on the line. Like this had to be a fight for to see who's going to be undisputed. Like either Terrence had to have two titles, or Earl had to have two, or somebody had to have three, and somebody had to have one, in order for me to say, okay, this is a pay per view fight. But neither one of these guys have done enough at 147. Now, being that Terrence Crawford just got at 147, but he still hasn't accomplished a lot at 147 to say that his fight with Errol Spence, in my opinion, should be pay per view. That's just my opinion. That's my humble opinion. But everybody else has their own opinions on it. But me as a consumer, I want to pay as less as possible. Like when I go to a store and buy a pair of gym shoes, if I can get $10, $20 off, what I'm saying, by going to another store versus going to this store, I'm gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see why people are in favor of building up Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight. Now we already went through that with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, which we helped build that fight up for 5 years, and then the fight was a dud, and we end up paying how much the fight was, what, $100, and the fight was a dud. So I'm not in the business of building up fights anymore. I'm not in the business of let's let a fight build up. No, 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 no. I want to see the fight as soon as possible. It's on the fighters to get as much money as they can. As it's on them to try to get as much economic, um, money from the fight as they can. It's my job to try to push the fight and get the fight as soon as possible, so I won't be the one that's paying an astronomical amount of money for a fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in the business of paying for pay per view fights. The only way I'm gonna pay for a pay per view fight, like I said, if undisputed is on the line. That's it. If, like I said, if both of these guys had, either one of these guys had two of the belts, or vice versa, if they had one had three, the other one had one, or vice versa, one had three, and this was the fight right here to determine who's the undisputed welterweight champion, then I'll pay for that on pay per view, but not for a unification fight. I'm not paying for that on pay per view. Now, um, Terrence Crawford, we all know he signed a deal with ESPN, and we all look. It's conflicting things. People are saying different things. On one hand, people are saying that Earl Spence doesn't have a boss; he's his own boss. He doesn't have a TV contract with Showtime, so he can fight on any network he wants to fight on, and he can fight any fighter he wants to fight because look, he doesn't have a boss. But then when you say, okay, fight Terrence Crawford, oh well, he has options You know what I'm saying? On his side of the street, but he doesn't have a side of the street. If he doesn't have a boss, that means Showtime is not his boss. That means Al Heyman is not his boss. So that means he can fight wherever he wants to fight and whatever platform he wants to fight. Now, Sean Porter says he wants to fight Earl Spence, but I've been looking at a couple interviews and it seemed like Sean Porter is moving further and further away from fighting, from agreeing to fight Earl Spence. Now, immediately after his fight with Danny Garcia, this is the timeline. He said this is going to be an easy fight to make. Everybody's seen that. It was on national TV. By the time he got to the podium, he said that the WBC may make him fight two mandatories, which I really never heard of a organization, you know what I'm saying, having you fight two mandatories. Now, one I can understand, but two, having two in line, and then I heard an interview from Jose Suleiman who said because this was a vacant title because we all know, Keith Thurman relinquished the WBC title due to injury, and Danny Garcia and Sean Porter fought for it. So Jose Suleiman said out his mouth that I didn't read it in print. I heard him on video say that when a WBC belt is won by via vacancy, if the person that wins the vacant title has to face a mandatory first. Now, that's what he said. Then he had another conflicting interview where he said that Sean Porter has to fight. No, in the same interview, he said Sean Porter has to fight Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman because he promised Keith Thurman that when he comes back and he's ready, after he have a tune-up, he can fight for the WBC title, no matter who's in line. He's number one in line. And then Jose Suleiman said that Errol Spence can fight Sean Porter for the title. So who knows what the truth is if the guy that's running the organization can't give you a clear picture of what the truth is. I don't know who can give it to you. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I heard a recent interview with Sean Porter where he said his advisor, he will listen to his advisor on whether should he what he should do next. And my thing is this: you said you wanted to fight Earl Spence next, so your advisor, yes, your advisor is there to advise you, but you can overrule your advisor if it's something that you want, if it's something that you claim you want, which I thought Sean Porter was talking towards. He wanted that fight, and that's the fight he wanted. At least that's where he was coming off. Now he's making it a gray area to where he says he wants the fight, but whatever his advisor advises him to do, he's going to do. And you kind of come to the conclusion that they probably don't have Errol Spence in the plans for next. Okay, so if Errol Spence is not in the plans for Sean Porter to fight next, Terrence Crawford said after he fight Jose Benavidez on October 13th, if he wins that fight, he wants Errol Spence next. Now, Bomac did have an interview on Trail Boxing with with 78 and the other gentleman. I forget his name. Sorry about I forget his name. But he said on there that they laid out a timeline that it'll culminate with Terrence Crawford fighting Errol Spence at the end of 2019. But we all remember when Danny Garcia fought Sean Porter, and after that fight, Errol Spence was doing a lot of interviews, and he was on the podium, and he was breaking and poking holes in Terrence Crawford's resume. Terrence Crawford tweeted and said, "Man, what was you drunk or something?" Because Errol Spence, he was saying things about how Terrence Crawford opponents was this and that, and how he thought Chris Algieri could beat anybody, can beat all the people on Terrence Crawford's resume. So they went back and forth, and now Terrence Crawford saying he want Earl Spence next. So maybe in his mind he's saying, okay, since you want to poke holes in my resume, Why don't I put you on my resume and then you can poke holes at yourself? I mean, that's what I'm looking at it as. Now, a lot of people are saying, and I listened to Ticket TV. I listened to his his video, and he said that Sean Porter is next. He don't want Sean Porter to get off the hook. Now I understand what he's saying because Sean Porter did say he want to fight Errol Spence. But my thing is this: if Sean Porter don't want to fight next, the next man in line should be Terrence Crawford. Because as far as I know, Earl Spence said strap season. He didn't say it's whatever. It's not a particular title he's going after. He's going after all the titles. So in order for, and he said he want to be undisputed. In order for him to be undisputed, he not only needs to defeat Sean Porter, he needs to defeat Keith Thurman, and he needs to defeat Terrence Crawford. So it doesn't matter what particular order he fights them in. He gonna have to fight all of them to be undisputed, as long as they have the titles. And if Terrence Crawford prevail versus Jose Benavidez, if Terrence Crawford want that fight next, if they can make that fight, okay, so him and Jose Benavidez fighting October 13th, October, November, December. If they can fight in January, and you got Sean Porter saying, "Well, I don't want to fight until the summer," then hey, I want to see the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight because look, we all have our opinions about the fight, right? I don't think that Errol Spence is going to get past Terrence Crawford, and I believe a lot of people, even though they like Errol Spence, even though they see Errol Spence as a quote unquote boogeyman, which is no boogeyman's, because the boogeyman gets shot and gets cut up and get burnt and keep coming back. A man in the flesh cannot be a boogeyman because a man in the flesh can be killed. So it's no boogeyman. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I was younger, coming up, and I seen Mike Tyson fight, knocking everybody out. You know what I'm saying? I could probably correlate Tyson as being a boogeyman, but see, I was young, 12, 13, 14 years old, seeing Mike Tyson knock everybody out. Hey, you can probably say he's a boogeyman. I didn't have any life experience. I didn't know anything. But as you grow up and you get into manhood, you understand no man in the flesh is a boogeyman. And for you to call somebody the boogeyman, it probably says a lot about how you see yourself. You may not see yourself as being able to, handle any, like any situation that comes my way. I'm not saying I'm gonna go out there and start stuff, with guys or this and that. But I don't care how big you are, small, short, fat. If you come my way and I have to defend myself, I'm gonna defend myself against big, short, tall, whatever, strong, whatever. So I don't look at it. I don't look at no man in the flesh as being a boogeyman. So, but I don't think Earl Spence look at himself as being a boogeyman. I think Earl Spence has to wear that title because that's what the public and that's what his main fans has put on him as being the boogeyman. Everybody ducking him, and they keep saying, "Oh, everybody's ducking Earl. Everybody's ducking Earl." Okay, now we have somebody that wants to fight Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, and now people are saying, "No, Sean Porter is next." No, the next man is the man that wants to fight. That's the next man, not the man who you think is next. Okay, yes, eventually he has to fight Sean Porter, but it's other guys out there with welterweight titles that he has to defeat as well. So while we waiting on Sean, what? So we supposed to wait on Sean Porter because according to everybody, we've been waiting on Keith Thurman, we've been waiting on Sean Porter, we've been waiting on Danny Garcia, and y'all say all of them that's been ducking Earl Spence the last 3 years, right? So if they've been ducking Earl Spence the last 3 years, I understand he has to fight two of those guys to get titles. But put that aside for right now. It's a guy out there with a title that wants to fight him immediately. So immediately, everybody should be jumping on that. Everybody should be saying, okay, let me see the Terrence Crawford Spence fight and see how that comes out. And then we'll deal with Keith Thurman and Sean Porter next. We'll deal with that. We'll put pressure on them next after he fight a guy that really wants to fight him. And that's, Terrence Crawford. It's some people go a little bit overboard when they say, well, Earl Spence is ducking. No, I don't think he's ducking Terrence Crawford. Earl Spence wants to fight. Earl Spence said on numerous occasions that he wants to fight. Now, he did say that Terrence Crawford was on the other side of the block, other side of the street, or whatever he said. I don't see how Terrence Crawford is on the other side of the street if you can cross that street whenever you want to because you're your own boss. Now, if you say Terrence Crawford parents won't let him cross over to the street, won't let him cross over to your street, but your parents don't care if you go over there, then that means you can go over there and play with him, or you can, in this case, you can go over there and fight him because according to Errol Spence and the people that support Errol Spence, they say Errol Spence doesn't have a boss. So if you don't have a boss, you can fight whoever you want to fight whenever you want to fight on any platform you want to fight them on. See, that's how I know that he's not his own boss. Another thing, they always saying Al Heyman, Al Heyman, Al Heyman. When Earl Spence, when Crawford said he wanted to fight Earl Spence, and even Mikey Garcia talk to Al, he will make the fight. Talk to Al, talk to Al. So uh, I guess Al is the boss, which I already know Al is. See, the reason why Al Heyman can't come out and say he's their promoter because he's on record as being their advisor, and you can't. Your promoter cannot be your advisor. That's a conflict of interest. So he has to step away. That's why De La Hoya and them tried to sue him and all that, and said that he was, you know, violating the Muhammad Ali Act, trying to be advisor and promoter. So he has to step away from that. That's why he got Lou DiBella is the face of the promotion of PBC. But the real promoter and the real advisor and the real head and the real boss behind everything is Al Heyman. That's why they thank Al Heyman when they're in the ring. They don't thank Lou DiBella. Do you hear any fighters thank Lou DiBella after a fight? They always thank Al Heyman. Al Heyman is their boss. So they do have a boss. Now, they may not have a signed paper contract with Showtime, but they have a contract with Showtime. They have a verbal contract with Showtime. That's why Earl Spence made the claim that he's on the wrong side of the street and I fight with Showtime. That's why, because if you are your own boss, you can fight on any platform. You can fight any fighter. So, like I said, man, people want to make claims, this and that, but when it's time to put up and shut up, there's always these barriers. You can't have no barriers. If you're your own boss, there is no barriers. There are no barriers. Now, Terrence Crawford. Without Terrence Crawford is talking through his manager Bomac, but even Terrence Crawford said he want to fight Errol Spence. So I don't need these guys that keep saying they want to fight each other in the public because they already said enough times they want to fight each other. Now all I need is time and date. I just need time and date. All this soap opera stuff, people want these guys to constantly, on Thursday I'm gonna say I want to fight you. On Wednesday I want you to say okay, on Thursday Terrence Crawford come out and say I want to fight you, Spence. On Monday I come out and say I want to fight you, Terrence, and then we just keep going back and forth, and the fight never happens, or we never, get a fight going. Now that's cool if they come out and have words on Twitter, have words, on different platforms, on different times that they get interviewed. If the fight is already signed, sealed, and delivered, because now you promoting the fight. You promoting a fight that has a date, has a venue. I don't want guys to keep promoting a fight without a date or without a venue. So, because what are we doing? We had that with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. They were promoting the fight without a date, without a venue for 5 years, and people didn't learn from that. And I know people that are new, to this YouTube boxing community thing. Maybe they were not part of it when that whole Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather thing happened, but I can tell you that everybody had vigorous debates, thousands and thousands and thousands of videos. We promoted the heck out that fight, and it still didn't happen for 5 years. Not going down that road again. If everybody out there want to push the Joshua versus Wilder fight, and y'all don't want that fight to build, then why would y'all want this fight to build? Oh, because it's somebody that you like. When it's somebody that you like, you tend to bend your own rules and philosophy. You see how that works? when Eddie Hearn came out a year and a half ago, because see, I have good ears, and I heard the man. I heard when he said this. He said, "I do not want to fight with Wilder into 2020." Everybody came out and said, "Oh, you're trying to wait out Deontay Wilder to Deontay Wilder get old. Why are you trying to fight Deontay Wilder in 2020?" Eddie Hearn said he wants to build that fight up. And that was a year and a half ago when he said that, or a year or so, something like that. And people berated him. But you have people on here saying, I think it was Black Fight Fan TV. That's the guy who does trail boxing with 78. He said that behind the scenes, he heard that they want to build up the fight. Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford wants to build up the fight because they want to maximize the earning potential. And like I said, I understand when fighters want to try to maximize their earning potential because they are the ones getting in the ring, they are the ones taking the risk. But me as a consumer, I don't care about that. I am trying to get the fight probably at no cost or just the cost of my subscription to ESPN or Showtime because I'm already paying subscription for Showtime and I got the ESPN app. So just in case a Terrence Crawford fight come on there, I can see it. So I'm not trying to pay astronomical money for a fight that I don't even think is worthy of being pay per view. I don't think it's worthy of being pay per view. I'm sorry, it's not. So I'm not gonna sit around and let these guys build this fight up for 2 years. We talk about it, we debate about it. I'm tired of debating about who's gonna win the fight. I got my opinion of who's gonna win the fight. Another guy got his opinion who's gonna win a fight. I can make a great case on how I see Terrence Crawford winning the fight, and the other guy has a great case of how Errol Spence can win the fight. Now we having a circular conversation when all of it can be rectified with these two guys getting in the ring. Just like when Manny Pacquiao and Floyd got in the ring, I thought Manny was gonna win. Some people thought Floyd was gonna win. They got in the ring, the truth came out. Floyd won the fight, and that's it. That's how you. That's how men come to a conclusion. We come to a conclusion with results. I don't come to a conclusion based off a hypothetical debate on who's going to win. The conclusion and the results is when they get in the ring, the truth comes out. Then we can start talking about it and having circular conversations. I just think some people just love to just talk about it, and they rather talk about it than see the results. I'm not saying everybody, but it's some people out there that just love to just because they love to have circular conversations. That's for daytime. That's for daytime soap operas. That's for One Life to Live and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't deal in that. I deal in reality with results. It's cool. Like I said, it's cool when two fighters are promoting the fight when you have a time and date. If you don't have a time and date, I'm not really interested of you promoting the fight. Now, I already heard. Now, a lot of people are up in arms about it, but Bomac has been saying in countless interviews that they want to fight Earl Spence. So I don't know why all of a sudden it's a huge deal because both sides have said they want the fight. I heard Earl Spence say he wants to fight numerous occasions. I heard Terrence Crawford say he wants to fight numerous occasions. I heard Bomac say that they want to fight Earl Spence. I have heard all that. They got interviews. You can just look it up. You can type it up. You can look at it yourself. When I get excited is when I get a time and a date. Then they can talk as much stuff as they want to building up to the fight. Then to me it's reasonable to get excited about them talking trash to each other. I don't want to like look if Terrence Crawford beat Jose Benavidez, okay, if he called out Earl Spence, that's nice. But I heard it before. I heard him call out the whole welterweight division after he beat Indago when he was at 140 when he became undisputed. He said it again after he beat Jeff Horn. So whether he said and whether Earl Spence come back and say after this Bomac interview and say, well, I want to fight, I accept the challenge. I heard him say he want to fight Terrence Crawford already. So that's not gonna do anything. All this back and forth in the media, man, it sound like little girls going back and forth in high school. I thought men supposed to be men. We supposed to go after results. We supposed to want results. not this back and forth. Like when you in school and two guys want to fight, and then they act like they want to fight so bad in school that they can't wait to get at each other when school is over. Then they go outside and they talk in each other's face for 20 minutes. Like, come on, man. If I say I want to fight you, when we get outside, the fight is finna start, whether you ready or not. If you're not ready, you gonna get your butt tore out the frame if you're not ready. If you think I'm gonna talk for 20, 15, 5 minutes in your face and not throwing any punches, no, that's not gonna happen. I'm ready to go. I'm not. We didn't did all the talking. The talking was done when we was in school. We get out of we get outside. It's time to throw hands. It's not time to talk. Oh, don't touch me. Oh, you too close to me. Who got time for that, man? Men, we handle business based off results. And like I said, if Errol Spence don't come in the next 5 minutes and say I accept Terrence Crawford offer, I'm not gonna say Errol Spence is ducking. I'm not gonna say Errol Spence is scared because I already know he wants to fight. Now, after Terrence Crawford fight Jose Benavidez, if Errol Spence want to get a fight before he fight Terrence Crawford, that's fine because Errol Spence last fight was against Ocampos 5 months ago, and then if him and Terrence Crawford fight in like January or February, that'd be like 8 months. If he want to get a tune up, fight a soft touch before he fight Terrence, that's fine. But after that, I want these two guys to get in the room with their two teams and make the fight. It's nothing else. It's nothing else to really discuss, man. Other than that, making the fight. That's it, man. That's all that needs to be said. Everything has been said, man. The YouTube boxing community have built up this fight for the last year, really, really, really strong for the last year. So all the build up is already out there. Once we get time and date, then everybody gonna continue building it up even more. They're gonna be even more hyped to build it up. Everybody gonna have their breakdowns out there of how the fight gonna go. They think Terrence Crawford gonna get destroyed in, you know what I'm saying, 2-3 rounds, or Terrence Crawford gonna outclass Errol Spence. We can all have that conversation, and it's better to have that conversation once the fight is signed. If the fight ain't signed and we having we just having empty conversations. That's how I look at it. We're just having empty conversations. These two guys are. It's not like these are two prospects. These guys are champions. It's not like these guys are young guys either. I believe Terrence Crawford is 30 already, and I believe Errol Spence is 28, about to be 29. So these guys are not spring chickens. It's time to get this fight on. So if we have let's say we have a great classic fight, they can fight again. We have had trilogies and fights before. Marquez, Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Mayweather fought my guy what's the name twice. So, and he fought early in his career. He fought what's the name twice. I always forget his name. He fought McDonough twice. You got Pacquiao fighting Bradley twice. You know what I'm saying? You got goddamn Holyfield fighting Riddick Bowe 3 times. So we have had this before. So we can't act like guys can't fight again. If you lose, you can't come back and fight again. So, and we may get Sean Porter and Keith Thurman again. If Sean Porter if Keith Thurman won his WBC title back, he wanted to fight Sean Porter again. So my thing is this: what will be an explosive card if they can get Keith Thurman fighting Sean Porter and get Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford on the same card. Now that, you know what? If they can get Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence, Keith Thurman versus Sean Porter on the same card, they can put that on pay-per-view. I'll pay for that. Because now we have we have all the belts on display on one night, and then we're gonna consolidate it into two people. And then those two guys will fight later. Now, that's something I will pay pay-per-view for, but I'm not gonna pay pay-per-view for a unification, man. I don't care how much I like Terrence Crawford. I'm not gonna pay pay-per-view for a unification. I'm just not gonna do it. Random question: who wins? Does Yorkis Gamboa beat everyone on Loma's red? Does Yorkis Gamboa beat everybody on Loma's resume? Lomachenko's resume? I don't. I don't think so. I mean, Gamboa can beat some guys on Lomachenko resume, but does he beat Walters? I don't know. Does he beat Lenoris? He probably beat. I don't know if he beat Rigondeaux. I mean, that's a good fight between him and Rigondeaux. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Does he beat Gary Russell Jr.? Lomo got some names on his resume, man. He got Gary Russell Jr. I don't know if Gamboa. I don't think Gamboa beat Gary Russell Jr. But I don't know. They have to get in the ring. Does he beat Nicholas Walters? Does he beat Rigondeaux? Does he beat Lenoris? Lomachenko got some good names on his resume, my dude. So are you saying that do you think Lomachenko is good or what are you saying? Do you like Lomachenko or do you like Gamboa? Because I don't think Gamboa can beat Lomachenko. I mean, I know Gamboa can't beat Lomachenko. I'm gonna put it that way. Gamboa can't beat Lomachenko, in my opinion. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but like I said, yeah, yeah, the talking is over for the Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight. That talk is, you know what I'm saying? That's over. I mean, we didn't talk about it enough. Now, if Terrence Crawford if he putting pressure, really I don't believe in him putting pressure on Bob Arum and ESPN. He's the fighter. He should be able to go in there and say what fight he wants. If he say he really wants the Earl Spence fight next, make it happen. Any means necessary. I'm happy then if they can get that fight done as soon as possible. But I'm not paying pay per view for it. So, that's what that is. Uh, Amir Khan coming out saying that Mayweather has been ducking him for years. I got news for Amir Khan. Mayweather has not been ducking you for years. You know what I'm saying? Now, was it a chance that it was a chance and that you could have fought Mayweather, but you had some hiccups in your career. You lost to Lamont Peterson, so you lost ground when you could have faced Mayweather. You lost ground because I distinctly remember when Amir Khan had lost to Lamont Peterson. Okay, it was a disputed loss in my opinion. I thought Amir Khan should have won. The referee stepped in and took so many points from the man. But to me, that was your window. Then not only did you lose that fight, you came back and got knocked out by Danny Garcia. So your stock went down. Now, you can say that Mayweather did fight Zab Judah after he came off a loss to Carlos Baldomir. He did. So he did fight a guy that come off a loss before. But you had came off of two losses. And did Mayweather duck you? I don't believe Mayweather ducked you. Now, do I think Amir Khan would have gave Mayweather a lot of problems? Yes, I do. Simply because Amir Khan 5'8" and a half, almost 5'9". He got a long reach and he throws a lot of punches. Now people will point to he got a weak chin, but would have Mayweather exploited that chin? Would Mayweather have fought a fight to exploit Amir Khan's chin? That's the thing. And Mayweather doesn't have one punch power. Mayweather has good power, but he doesn't have one punch power. He doesn't fight in a way that he's not gonna go out of his way to go after you. Unless Mayweather has you really hurt, he's not gonna go out of his way of going after you. So I think at that time Amir Khan would have been a tough fight for Mayweather, but Mayweather did not duck Amir Khan. Amir Khan actually stubbed his toe and mess up his chance to get the Floyd Mayweather fight when he lost Amir Khan. I mean to Lamont Peterson and then got knocked out by Danny Garcia. At one point, yes, I thought Amir Khan was right there in line to fight Mayweather. He was deserving of the fight. But when you stub your toe two times in a row like that, you can't get the fight, man. It just is what it is, man. It's what it is. Now, would I have loved to see that fight? Yeah, I would have loved to see how Mayweather would have dealt with Amir Khan's, being busy in his combinations. Amir Khan being a little tall. Not saying that Mayweather have not fought anybody taller than him because he did, but I would love to see how that fight would have turned out. But I'm not gonna say Mayweather ducked you. I can't say Mayweather ducked you, Amir Khan. I like Amir Khan, but I can't say he ducked you. I mean, ultimately, you can't fight everybody, but I can't say he ducked you. But yeah, man, I'm probably about to get out of here. I see Gerald Miller, man. This man weighed in at 317. He weighed in at 317. Man, he finna fight Thomas Adamick. Are you serious? Gerald Miller finna fight Thomas Adamick? Come on, man. How many times y'all gonna retread Thomas Adamick? How many times y'all gonna keep? I mean, Thomas Adamick back in his day was a decent fighter, but come on, man. Gerald Miller, man, I can't even take him serious as a heavyweight. First of all, the man is 300 something pounds. Yes, he seemed like he got good cardio, yes, but he doesn't have serious punching power to keep nobody up off of him. Like, he's not gonna beat Joshua or Wilder, them guys like that, man. He doesn't. Now, I think he takes a good shot, but I don't know if he takes a good shot because I haven't seen him in the ring with anybody that can seriously punch. So I don't know. Gerald Miller is seemed like a he just seemed like the Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm not trying to talk about the man, but he seemed like the class clown in the back of the room that got some potential, but average at everything. You know what I'm saying? Gerald Miller can he even beat Dillian White? I will pick Dillian White to beat Gerald Miller. To be honest with you, I don't even think he can beat Dillian White, man. Gerald Miller, it's time to see him fight somebody like a Povetkin, even somebody like a Chris Arreola, or okay, not even Chris Arreola. I ain't gonna say Chris Arreola, but somebody like a Dillian White or Chazure, some people like that. I want to see him fight somebody like that to see where he's at. Fight a Brazil or something like that. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. What? What's up, man? Unbiased Boston talk. What's up? Yes, he does. What? What I said about Gerald Miller? Gerald Miller, man, he just I don't know, man. I can't even take the dude serious. I know he used to be a kickboxer or something like that. I mean, he's winning, but who is he beating, man? I mean, who has man? Let me see, man. Let me see who has this guy beat of significance. I don't think he beat anybody of significance, man. I don't think Gerald Miller has beaten anybody of significance. Let me see, man. I know he 21-0 with 18 knockouts, but he's 6'4", 78-inch reach. I'm trying to see. Dupas is Gerald Washington. Okay, he beat him. Did he fight Dominic Brazil? No. So he hasn't beat any. I mean, I do recognize two names. I recognize three because Thomas Adamick, Dupas. I recognize Gerald Washington, but none of those guys are. You know what I'm saying? None of those guys are threats or I deem as really good fighters. I mean, come on, man. Like, it's whatever, man. But like I said, man, I'm not in favor of building up no Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence fight. This fight can happen in January, February, as far as I'm concerned. If Terrence Crawford can beat Jose Benavidez, I expect him to beat Jose Benavidez, but this is boxing. Anything can happen. So, like I said, we'll see, man. I'm out, y'all.